Welcome to the second half of the conservation conversation. If you're joining us at the time, my name is Chemtai Kirui, and tonight on the program, I'm sitting down with Josephine Wawira, Communication Officer from Sustainable Inclusive Business, and also a host of Circular Economy Program run by SIBK as well. SIBK, Sustainable Inclusive Business, KEPSA,
yeah.
right?
Kenya.
And she's here tonight to speak to us about the Kenya Plastic Pact that has been launched in Kenya, where we're seeing company or stakeholders coming together to ensure that they're making a huge step ahead in waste management. And here we're speaking about Plastic Pact. During the launch, the CS for Cabinet Secretary for Environment and Forestry made this statement that the Kenya Plastic Pact will help unlock investments in the innovation, collection, reuse and recycling of waste in an environmentally sound manner, while also delivering jobs, skills and opportunities for Kenyans and especially the youth.
So for a long time, the informal waste sector has been disregarded as a very key stakeholder when it comes to proper waste management, not just for plastic, but generally waste management in the country. But let's admit this. Let's say, for instance, I am a producer of plastic, yeah? And then I have done my production, and then the material, the product has gone to the retailer, then who has sold it to the consumer. If I may ask you how many times you've gone to the supermarket, for instance, thirsty, just bought a bottle of water, even before you get to the counter to pay, you've quenched your thirst, you've emptied the bottle, you can just pay for the bottle and leave, yeah? Because what you needed was the content of that bottle and not the bottle itself.
So true.
So more often than not, what happens is that most of us do not carry our waste until when we can safely dispose it. So that's when you find someone walking on the road and chill, throws the bottle off the road,
so,
or
yes,
just outside the supermarket and just throws the bottle or the sweet wrapper or anything that you bought, and you're just like, I'm done with whatever I was eating inside, so what do I do with this plastic? At that moment, to you, that product has become waste. But what is waste if we were to define waste? Because waste for most people is something that you don't need or you can't use anymore. But we like saying that waste is wealth, because for you that may look as waste, but for someone else that is a job opportunity. Okay. For someone else, his job or her job is to collect that plastic bottle and sell it to a recycler. Yeah?
Yes.
Forgive me for
Someone
that.
is excited to see you on TV.
That's my mom. Mom, tulia. So you see, that's a job opportunity for someone else. So it's about time that we admit to ourselves that we cannot do it without the informal waste sector. It's also about time that we agree that this is not just a dirty job. I have, from my documentation of Circular Economy Trailblazers, the show that you've mentioned, I have seen how a lot of youth are making wealth from collecting waste, from separating waste. Separating is to ensure before, for instance, once you go to collect from the household, then you make sure that the plastic or the dry waste is separate from the wet waste. Because one of the major problems or challenges that the recyclers find when it comes to recycling plastic is that it's mixed up with wet waste. So that process up, making sure that it's in a condition that can now be recycled into something else becomes way tedious and expensive for that matter. So creating awareness to separate waste at source will also create more job for the youth. And remember, mtu mnasema kazi yake ni ya kuokota taka. If you're just seeing that person as the guy who collects taka, at the end of the day, there is a youth somewhere, even with a degree, but has no job, yes? And yet, this person here we are calling is the dirty guy, is making a living and putting food on the table, educating his children or her children by collecting waste. So one of the aims of the Kenya Plastics Pact is to ensure that we also empower the informal waste sector. And I said we have also, and we will continue bringing them on board. And I'm glad to say that, for instance, the Nairobi Waste Pickers Association is already a member of the Kenya Plastics Pact. Wow. So we are not going to leave anyone behind. So because it's about time that we sensitize Kenyans that this is a sector that remains key and that we cannot do without if we are to achieve a circular economy for plastic and any other circular economy in any sector. All right? So that is one of the things. So through this, if we formalize this sector and make more, create more awareness on, make it easy for them, you as the household owner. So when you're disposing of your household waste, how do you do it? Personally, I have 2 bins. One, the dry waste, the food, your chakula yote inabaki, you put it in one bin. And then the dry waste now can go to any other kind of bin, so that when they come collect, it makes it easy for them even at the separation stage. Yeah. But now also there's another challenge. Because of lack of infrastructure, even if I as a homeowner separate, most of them will just pick and put them all together. Because beyond my household, they are not also aware of what they are supposed to do with it. So by involving these associations that represent the informal waste sector, will also help us to create awareness that once you collect this waste from the households, then you also have a responsibility as to keep them separate. Yeah. And then from here, we have the waste pickers now who go and collect the plastics and sell them to the recyclers. Sure. And also it makes easy for the recyclers now to do their process. And remember when I said, that everyone has a responsibility, it starts from the top. So as a producer, if you've been producing a plastic that is not recyclable, remember it also makes the work harder for the recycler. So it's also time that we start thinking and redesigning our models to make sure that, like I said, 100% of the plastics produced in the country, both including packaging, is actually recyclable or reusable. So starts from the top, but also we make sure by the time this plastic reaches in house, or you as the consumer, you know where to take it back. So that we need to put in place the take back systems. So you know where to take back your plastic, and also the collector knows the people that he can go and take these plastics to. And so this plastic does not end up in the environment, but is put back into the system and made into a new product or the same product. So this way we create a circular economy. But this circular economy will not be if all the stakeholders are not involved. The other major point I want to emphasize is circular economy, as many people seem to understand it, it's not just recycling. Recycling is the last stage of achieving a circular economy. It starts from redesigning, it goes to innovation, it goes to elimination, it goes to reuse. All those processes, by the time we are reaching the recycling process, to close that loop, So it's not just about recycling, it's everything involved. So it's about the producer redesigning, rethinking, innovating. It's about me as the consumer knowing what to do with that process and taking it back into the system. Yeah. It's about the recycling. So it's a whole system that involves a whole lot of people, and everyone in this case has a major role to play. Yeah. And the Kenya Plastics Pact is going to help to close that loop and ensure that everyone is informed, and that it's not more about talking and talking and talking, but everyone is playing their part by creating solution-based projects, initiatives, discussions that are going to create a circular economy for plastic where it never becomes waste or pollution.
Yeah, interesting. Interesting information, Josephine.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting us know what the pact meant and what it means for us going forward. And I love the call to action where it's a responsibility for all of us, because if one part stops, right, the circle doesn't go.
It's
right?
not complete.
Goes
Yeah.
off. Time is running out, but I'll leave you with final words. Probably someone who is watching at home and probably they need to understand one more thing. What would that be?
One more thing. I don't think I have one more thing. I have many more things. But
in the interest of time,
yeah. I would make a call to action for businesses, organizations out there that see the need to to create a circular economy for plastic. Whether you are a producer, whether you are a recycler, where you are in the informal waste sector, whether you are a retailer. The Kenya Plastics Pact is still open for membership. We are still taking in because the more the merrier, the bigger the impact. So we are still taking in memberships. You can also visit our website at KPP for Kenya Plastics Pact. So it's kpp.or.ke for more information on how the Kenya Plastics Pact works and how you can also join either as a member or as a supporter.
Yeah. Thank you for making time for us, Josephine, and of course letting audience know what they're supposed to do and what is happening even in the larger scale when it comes to waste management. It's a huge issue. All of us want to stay in a clean environment, so once we know there's something that can be done about it, of course, that's a good news.
Yeah, I always say this, we have heard of Mars and other, planets that we can one day go to, but for now we are still here. This is the only plan A that we have. Yeah. We don't have another plan B yet. Yeah. So while we are here, please, let's protect what is ours. This is our home. This is where we belong until further notice. So let's protect the planet that we have. Let's make sure that any impact that we have on the planet, on the people, on profits is positive and not negative. Thank you very much.
You've said it. I have nothing else to add. Thank you so much. I'm hoping to see you here again, Josephine.
Anytime.
Well, that's it. Josephine is just an amazing guest. I let her speak, and the information she has, of course, is something that impacts you and me, and that's why I was glad to have her here. You've heard about the Kenya Plastic Pact. Companies are joining in, and we are follow up and see how the outcome will be. Of course, with you've said yearly announcement,
annual
right?
reporting.
I'll be here giving you airtime.
I want to see numbers.
What's happening? Well, that's it for tonight. The conversation, the conservation conversation, is always here to speak about our conservation and what we as audiences can do to ensure that we are playing our part as well. That's it for tonight. We have a lot of programs lined up for you, so don't go anywhere, but I'll see you on my next program. Have a blessed night. Good night.